Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special playthrough of Bounty Hunters, the TTRPG that I have written over the last couple of weeks. And we are taking a little break, just a one week break from the Shadows Born, so that we can do this playthrough. Sadly, Sammy is man down with some kind of horrid constitution save, and so he won't be joining us tonight, but we're going to be moving from fantasy into science fiction and playing through a little adventure using the new rules that I have written. Now, these rules are very simple. Each of the characters, the bounty hunters, now players, my wonderful players, will go through them, introduce their characters, I should say. The rules are very, very simple. They all have 20 points each, action points. They use those action points every time they try and do something or resist something. When they run out, they run the risk of falling unconscious. So they're going to have to keep track of that. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. They've got some skills. They can succeed at skills. And if they don't have the skill, they simply can't make the check. So there are no dice are involved, and basically no maths either. You are minusing 1 point from your total, but I don't know if that counts as maths. Anyway, all right, so let's get to learn who our wonderful folk are. We've got some very interesting characters here. I'm going to skip out on the copyright violation and go straight to Brian. Brian, no longer playing our furry friend. You're now playing something else. Tell us, Brian, who are you playing?
I'm playing Shakal. I'm a wegwed, which is a insect person, and I'm really smart. I grew up in a colony, and we went to school, and didn't really know my parents, but I figured things out quickly. Figured out machines, figured out how to fix things, and I'm really good at fixing things, fixing other species, fixing machines, hacking into computers. I do all that. I'm really smart.
A wed, lovely insect creature. There you go. Mirren, look at me. Marie, who are you playing?
I'm paying. I am Quam. I am human. I grew up, my family were outdoors people. Didn't go to town much. However, I liked it when we did. I was lucky to go to school where I met my best friend, and I studied speech and thought. We had some good times and explored much in the structures. I learned there that I could navigate through mazes without and memorize the paths. So I became navigator. And we, Grill and I, signed on to the same shipping company. We were couriers of stuff, messages. We were transporting some rhyolite, and the company didn't think we were transporting enough to have guards because it's very precious commodity. But then the rhyolite prices went up, and any amount of rhyolite was valuable. So I couldn't save Grill. There were just too many of them. It's amazing what one can find in cargoes and where you can hide things in cargo ships. I didn't know what to do, so I worked out my contract and became bounty hunter. It is new, and it is a right. It is a right occupation.
There you go. And then finishing off this interesting crew, we have, well, Andres, what are you playing?
We are Muck. We are... What's the name of the species again?
Raketh.
Yeah, we're one of those. And Did I mute myself now?
No.
I
you're
can
okay.
see a thing.
It looks great. It looks great. But as you say, you can't see anything.
Yeah, it's like a sunny day in a foggy street. In any case, we are Muck. We are a colony of microbes, and we took on human shape after a few weeks, days, months, depending on what size you call it, human shape. We found ourselves on the street, once cast out by our former colony, which called itself Legion. And yeah, after being thrown out, we found ourselves first on the street, then on the sole of a shoe, which we absorbed, along with the rest of the shoe. The shoe belonged to a human called Lizzie, who adopted us, fed us, and we grew up together. Then war came, I joined the military, and war ended by our station being blown up. And thus, sorting my life, we had to move on and picked the life of a bounty hunter. And then we found out Lizzie is still alive somewhere, and we shall find her.
There you are. So we have a colony of microbes identifying themselves as Muck. We have a wed engineer / doctor and a human pilot. All three of them are bounty hunters, and they have a Paragon class ship that is their very own that they use to sail around the galaxy. It is called the Dark Swan. And that is where we begin our tale this evening. The Dark Swan has been in space, traveling from the last homeworld that they were visiting. And our intrepid heroes have found, or have picked up, I should say, a bounty. They are to track down, I should say, Captain Vorix. Captain Vorix is a Goranian captain conducting secret research, supposedly, and there is a bounty on his head, a total sum of 85 galactic credits, which by the standards of the game, 85 is significant. It's almost half of a starship. If he is brought in alive, 85. If he's brought in dead, only 35. But Captain Vorix, the Goranian, was last seen somewhere in the Atal Nebula. The Atal Nebula. What he was doing there is unknown, but if the bounty is brought in, there is significant share for everybody. That is the only bounty that is on the board, and as a result, the three of you have decided that it's probably a good idea to take it. The Atal system is uninhabited. It is not in any particular territory. It has not been claimed by any of the large galactic powers. It is, for all intents and purposes, a rather beautiful, if slightly unstable, nebula. It is also, from where you are currently, about 1 hour's dive time away. You're on your ship. Over to you.
All right, Captain. What's our orders?
Plotting course to the Atal Nebula.
Yes, go for that. Do we have any further clues as to where find this captain? Vorix?
Vorix, as far as you know, well, are any of you going to search on the galactic net, as it were?
Yes, I'm good with computers. I can do that.
Excellent. So, using computer use, you spend a point, and you start to search on Captain Vorix. Vorix has been cast out of the Goranian nation, as a matter of fact. He was experimenting with weird and wonderful, highly unstable weaponry that, instead of attacking the ship or the enemy, it tried to tear holes in space, which would cause a micro black hole and ultimately destroy anything in the immediate area. The Goranian government, as well as most of the other governments in the universe, decided that this was a very bad idea and Vorik should be shut down. He refused, but was eventually exiled and has since gone into hiding. The only thing of interest within the Atal Nebula is the station known as Tarson Row. It was once a human station designed to scan the nebula and analyze it, but that was long ago, and it is registered as being abandoned. Other than that, the Atal Nebula is a nebula that you do not want to go into, as it has a way of interfering with ships, causing their dive engines to fail, or causing dives to be completely and utterly disastrous, basically dissolving everything into a pile of molecules that drift around in the nebula itself. That is what
So
your
I will
computer
plot a
uses.
course. Oh, sorry.
Go for it.
So I'll plot a course outside that area, outside the area of instability. I use 1 point for navigation to do that.
Absolutely.
And then when that's done, I'll report to the captain. And I have navigation, so I spent that.
Perfect.
And I'm ready to operate the vehicle, I guess.
Absolutely. A navigation check is all you need. You don't need to use vehicle operations at the moment. You are making a
Okay.
dive more than anything else. So dive course is plotted, is the word given, Captain.
Engage.
Engage, sir.
All right. Your ship dissolves into that weird molecular space. Everything contorts, distracts around you, and then reforms. And you are now at the edge of this particularly beautiful red nebula. It expands from one view screen all the way to the other and seems delicate. Wisps of gas spiral upwards, tendrils spiral out towards your ship. Not growing towards your ship, just towards your ship. It almost looks like a chrysanthemum that has opened up in full bloom. But within that, of course, it would rip your ship apart if you went in too deep.
Have I ever been out here on a trading, a courier mission?
This is off the major space lanes. It really is in the middle of nowhere. The nebula itself, aside from a scientific curiosity, has no real value.
Okay, I'm going to find out where Station Tarson Row is, and
All right. You're jumping onto the scanners of your ship. And
I don't have computer use. Someone else left.
And you look at the scanners and you're going, I think if I... No, it's all just gobbledygook.
Wait, okay, that's my job.
Go.
I do that.
All right, the insect-like form of Shukok. You start to get in there. You make another computer use check to scan the immediate area. You are detecting the station of Tarson Row. It is sending out a message saying that the station is abandoned. It is simply stating, do not approach the station. The station is unstable. That is a generic warning that repeats on the same channel. However, you have also detected that there is a ship that appears to be moving closer to yours at quite high velocity.
We have another ship coming in. Let's see.
Captain. Oh,
Captain's out of order. Sorry.
yeah. He must be absorbing something now.
He must have lost his form for a bit. That's okay.
Yeah.
The ship is approaching at high speed. It gets to distant range. Long range, I should say.
Can we hail them?
You can, absolutely. Absolutely. You open up communications. Not a problem. A voice crackles on the communicator as you attempt to determine who or what this ship is. The voice simply says, "This is our territory. You must leave immediately, or we will destroy you." The ship that is issuing this particular threat, due to you using your scanners, it appears to be what is called a Mantitrax class. Slightly stronger build than the Peregrine. It's a slightly newer model. The most important thing is that this ship is armed with phase cannons which have long range attack, and you are in long range. You've also detected that the ship's weaponry is active and that power is being sent to their forward weaponry.
Are there any obstacles, anything we can use as cover?
If you dove into the nebula and didn't try and make a dive, you could possibly lose them in that soup, because certainly it would make scanning very difficult.
Quan, do you feel yourself capable of doing such maneuvers?
Yes, sir. Initiating navigational tracking now.
1 second, please. Can we communicate with them?
You have communications available, yes?
Unidentified ship. This is the Dark Swan. We are trying to find some, wanted individual in this system. We have no quarrel with you except if this individual happens to be aboard of your vessel. We suggest you power down all weapons or be first destroyed and then absorbed.
That's interesting. Are you going to try and use fear to cause them to back away?
Yep.
Okay, you spend a point to cause them to back away. They, however, respond. Your idle threats are exactly that. Back off, or we'll destroy you.
Shagok, do you have anything we can throw at them to back up our threat?
You do have Barrett's missiles aboard your vessel, if you really wanted to. They have long range, which is where the ship is currently.
Part of me just wants to
my
jam the
apologies.
radar.
They don't have long range. They're only at immediate range.
Well, it's interesting. I'm looking at the ship sheet, and all the weapons here say is offline.
That's if you have 0 power points left aboard your
Oh,
vessel.
gotcha.
Correct. But in terms of jamming a ship, you certainly could try to do that. Absolutely. If you
I
wanted
suggest we send out countermeasures and then move into the nebula.
Very good idea, Quan.
Wait.
Using my skills in psychology, do I have any knowledge of his intentions, that maybe he's trying to hide something from us? Maybe bluffing his power?
Listening to the tone and the way in which he speaks, you suspect that this is not necessarily the first engagement that he's had, and perhaps it might very well be that he is trying to obfuscate his true power. Because if he does have phase cannons, which his ship does have, he could attack you from the long range that he's at the moment, And your ship has very little that could respond, but he has not yet attacked.
I think he's bluffing.
Captain.
Good point, Shagok. I'd like to open the channel again. Unidentified ship. You calling our threats idle is either very brave or very stupid. Do not assume we are just the average peregrine ship. Rather assume we are heavily modified and are more than capable of concealing such. So we advise you back down now.
That's an interesting proposition that you're sending across the airwaves. Yes, it's a point spent. The captain of this ship has very specific orders, so he will spend a point. His response is, back off. This is our salvage. We're not leaving without it. And as far as the person you're looking for, he's not here.
We have no interest in salvage. We have interest in one person, and that's it. We can very well coexist in this system.
Yes, Marie?
I will spend a point of psychology.
Yep.
And say, this is Quan Zhou, pilot of Dark Swan. It is pleasant to meet you in this cold and beautiful place. Please, let us discuss our mutual needs among ourselves at a very nice dinner. There is much you could tell us, and much we can tell you, which we can't do if you destroy us.
Where would this dinner take place?
You have bigger ship. You have nicer quarters, perhaps, than we.
You want to board us?
No, we want to dock and exchange diplomatic greetings.
He goes quiet for a moment. His crew are spending some points quickly.
I'd like to look at Shukuk, and we are not quite sure what she's trying to do. Is this a mutiny?
No, we are trying. I turn off my end of the comm and I say, yes. Look, we just need information, okay? So if he was here, we want to know about all the traffic in and out of the system. These are just salvagers. They're harmless. Besides, they might have some good stuff on their ship. I didn't say that in the right accent. Oh, well.
That's all right.
That was well thought. We should play along.
Okay.
I will open the comm again and wait for them to respond.
All right. Shukok, you were on the sensors, is that correct?
Yes.
You, whilst watching those sensors, realize that they have now scanned your ship as thoroughly as they seem capable of scanning. But they are still at that long range. They're not coming closer. Very well, then. But we propose you send a shuttle to our vessel.
And leave our vessel unguarded?
There's no need to dock with our ship. It would bring us in close proximity.
Do we even have a shuttle?
You do have a 4-person shuttle that you could use to fly to the planet's surface or to another starship.
Off with the comms. So, I am not sure about leaving ship here alone.
That doesn't sound very smart, yeah.
No. You don't have android or robots to help?
You couldn't afford AI.
Ah.
At least now the AI that's safe to work with.
Could I craft something together?
You want to automate the ship?
Yeah.
What would
What's
you
a
like the ship to do?
Make it seem like there are robots running the ship while we're away.
All right. Well, that's going to take that's false sensor readings, and it's going to take you about 3 minutes or so to put that in place. You can certainly begin. Your first step will be to use the computer, then you'll use engineering, and then finally your hacking expertise will come to the fore to allow you to create these false sensor readings. Do you have all three of those skills?
I don't have the hacking skills.
Does anybody else have the hacking skills? Then,
Not that.
in theory, you could make it work. There's just one problem. You have no idea how to get the enemy ship to detect that there was AI on this ship.
You know, Guy, your idea is way better than mine. I had something in mind like the washing machine, a broomstick, and my spare helmet.
If you want to just put props in place, well, that's a different story altogether.
Too bad we don't have other life forms we can let loose on the ship. I know several life forms which could be useful at this time, but what do we tell these people?
Well, between my engineering and crafting skills and computer use, I think I can put something together. We'll just give it a try.
How long will this take?
About 3 minutes.
Give or take.
I'll tell them we'll be ready in 15.
You have 2 minutes.
Mean captain.
Okay, turn the comm back on. We will depart in 15 minutes.
Excellent. We look forward to it.
Make sure you have a marker of where we are to go.
We'll send over the coordinates as to where your shuttle should go, yes.
What is proper dress for a diplomatic occasion?
The channel gets closed. A few moments later. Wear whatever you're comfortable with. We have no particular code on this ship.
Acknowledged.
Any of you
Out.
could use psychology to try and interpret what is happening in his head as he's trying to get through this. Captain, every single microbe in your colony is picking up the fact that you think he basically just wants you to leave your ship, and then he's going to fly in and salvage what's on your ship.
Question: Do we? How do scanners work in this system? Can they tell how many of us are on our ship?
Depends on how close a scan they did, but Shakok was aware that they did a very deep scan of your ship. They actively did a scan on the ship, so they should know what is happening.
We should inform you. What's the ship? The name again?
The individuals that are in the starship?
Or the
One
call
minute.
sign of their ship?
Their
1
ship
minute.
is registering as the Delarix.
1 minute, Captain. Perhaps we shall let Shakok work and then claim there is a technical difficulty with our shuttle, and we will not be able to make it. Shakak,
Really?
you can cause a technical difficulty to pretend to exist to the shuttle, yes?
Oh yeah, that's easy.
Even we could break things.
What's the name of that ship again?
The Delarix. So is your plan to construct a basic robot that is going to pilot the shuttle now out of the ship? Shakok, is that what you're doing?
Ooh, that would be cool.
Yeah,
All right.
but it's going to have a malfunction just before it takes off.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you set to programming that. As you said, computer use, craft, and engineering will see that sorted. So those are the points you need to spend to do that. In the meantime, what are you doing, Captain and Pilot?
I still have the coordinates into the nebula.
That's true. Captain?
Let's see. Could I use science for theoretically? Oh no, sorry. Wrong course of mind. So I'd like to look at Quan. So what exactly are you planning on how we get over there if not by shuttle?
Oh, I wasn't planning on getting over there. I was just planning for them to calm down.
Do your monominds have to do this?
It is good practice. It is right
Interesting.
practice.
And how do you
Calmer minds
suggest?
think better.
And how do you suggest we proceed after that?
After what? We go to the nebula. We are not going to get information from these people. As you said, they are salvagers.
How can you be sure our core is not aboard this ship?
We haven't scanned them, have we?
I don't think so.
No, we have not.
Yes, we could scan for this species to see how many there are. Although that won't tell us whether our quarry is on the ship.
That is a good idea. Please proceed.
Computer use check. Well, do you have computers? Computer use, Captain? Because your pilot doesn't. You both sitting on the bridge. Well, scan them. Meanwhile, the Wedwed is busy in the cargo bay trying to build this crude AI thing.
Too bad he can't tell me which button to push.
Unfortunately, the scanners run through a range of various diagnostics. You get metallurgy responses, you get infrared responses. There's a full spectrum of data that needs to be interpreted. So after 3 minutes, you have cobbled together what you think Shakok will work in terms of piloting the shuttle, powering it up, lift off, and then banging into the side of your ship and then landing again. That's about as. Do you want it to actually get out of the ship?
No, we don't want to lose it.
All right. Once you've done with that, you can head back up to the bridge, if you like, to see these two looking at the sensors going, is it that one? Which one does he press again?
I have to do everything around here. I wasn't even supposed to be out here in space. I was supposed to be working in a lab. All right. Okay. You want me to scan, right? Okay.
Yes, please do so.
Yep. Captain, you notice that poor old Shukok is getting a little bit. Well, it's difficult to tell because he's completely covered in keratin armor, but he's doing a lot of stuff right now. There's a lot going on.
Sorry.
Your scan of the enemy vessel, or of this other vessel, I should say, reveals that on board there are a grand total of 3 individuals. And all 3 of these individuals are Crebathian, which are these furry humanoid-like creatures. They're scavengers. They quite happily will eat the dead bodies of crewmen on ships that have been left to drift. They will pick a ship clean. There is no Goranian life signature on this at all. However, there is definitely a whole bunch of life forms on the Tarson Row station. And there are several Goranians on that station.
All right. I think what we need is on the station. So we just need to lose these guys and head to the station.
How close to the nebula is the station?
It's right on the edge of the station.
Okay. I plot my navigation thusly to hide in the nebula and then come into the station.
Right.
That's my plan.
So you're busy working out that course, not a problem at all. Captain, you are being held by the Delarix. Your time is up.
Greetings. Well, we do seem to have some problems regarding our shuttle.
Are
With
you
us-
going to leave now?
We shall disengage to see another day.
Okay, so you are flying the ship around, trying to get into the nebula. Okay, all right. Well, you have a rigged shuttle. It hasn't done anything yet, but it will take off, crash, and then land again in the cargo bay. But that's fine. You guys engage your drives. You start swinging around into that nebula.
See, I thought that was an order. So
This is what's happening. Who knows what
Yeah,
happened,
I know.
whether it was an order or not. As you start to swing around, their ship starts to try and follow you. We're going into combat. Do you want to take initiative? It costs you a point. Captain.
First of all, I want to know, can I use ranged attacks for the ship's weapons?
You use mounted weapons.
Damn it.
Yes, sadly, pointing a rifle or firing a rifle is very different to firing a gigantic cannon.
Yeah, worth a try. More use when we're actually facing someone. So, no, I'm not going to use a pull point to go first.
All right, the enemy is going first, and
Oh, that was for the entire ship.
yeah, you are the captain of the ship, correct?
Okay, in that case, I'm going to spend 1 point for our ship to go first.
All right, your ship is
Sorry.
acting first. You may act in any order between the 3 of you, so it is entirely up to you. You are making it towards that nebula as fast as you can. You have 2 range increments to cover before you get to that nebula, so basically 2 rounds before you enter the nebula.
are
One,
their weapons powered up?
Their weapons were powered up at the beginning, correct? Yes.
Okay, I go first. Evasive maneuvers.
Nice. Okay, so you are doing evasive maneuvers, and that is going to avoid 1 attack. You will have to use vehicle operations and logic in order to succeed on that. So that will cost you 2 points.
2. Okay,
Yes.
got it.
You start to plot out the enemy's potential trajectories of the weapons that you know that they have on board, that phase cannon as well as a ran cannon as well. So you start to anticipate where they might fire. So you will mitigate all damage from one of their attacks. Captain or Shukok?
Shugok, can you transfer power from communications to main thrusters?
Oh yeah, that's easy.
Yes, you absolutely can. That is the captain's prerogative to transfer power, though. So, Captain, it's you who will be spending those points.
Okay.
Except I don't think you have computer use.
Nope.
So-
But I've told Shugok my password.
You have told Shikok your password.
It
All
is
right.
not.
I'll-
I repeat, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Very well, Shikok. Yes, computer use, engineering, and vehicle operations in order to transfer power. Where are you transferring power from, Captain? Sorry, that order again.
Communications to main thrusters.
All right, so you're transferring from communications into main thrusters. I like that. Shikok, are you doing that?
Yeah, I can transfer power, not a problem. I
All
can't
right.
navigate very well, but transferring power, that's easy.
That'll take 3 points from you, and yes, that's what you're doing. Captain, you haven't acted yet. You have given orders and are taxing your crew to the limit, but what are you doing?
Well, I'm as useful as a captain can be if he's got no skill at being a captain, but more skill at killing people at close range. So,
Well, that's what a bounty hunter is all about. Do you not want to inspire your crew, perhaps? Or
I can do.
you could
Can I do that?
You can coordinate your crew if you have psychology, which I think you do.
I do have psychology. Yes.
Yeah, so you could coordinate them, you could inspire them. You have fear and psychology, so you could put.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Very well. I'm very proud to serve with you on this ship, and if they catch us, we will probably all die, and maybe we will survive and get to absorb whatever remains of you. So you better get going.
The fear and psychology route. I see. You guys are suitably feared, and as a result, both of you get 1 point back as the captain inspires you to work harder or get absorbed. Well, there you go. Your ship sails forward. The enemy vessel, the captain orders the tactical officer to fire weapons. And so the tactical
We
officer...
have a tactical officer.
Yeah, well, it depends on your focus, really. If you guys got onto the ship, they probably wouldn't stand a chance. So the tactical officer is going to fire at a specific component, which is your ship's thrusters.
Oh, them.
And he fires that first attack. That is with his Ran blasters. This great big flare of green energy fires out the front of the ship. But your maneuvering, helmsman, you anticipated the angle of their attack and you slide around them quite gracefully as they completely miss. The enemy ship immediately starts to accelerate and tries to pursue, following you as best it can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it does seem to be managing to maintain speed with you. Then finally... Shukok, as you're transferring power around and that sort of thing, you realize that they appear to be trying to do something to your ship's sensors. Your sensors keep flickering on and off, and the readings start to seem a little bit erratic. But what they're doing, you're not entirely sure as you're moving power around. That brings us to the end of the round. Your ship having evaded their first attack. We move into this next round. Are you going to act first or second? By the end of this round, you will have achieved entry into the nebula. Captain.
I'm pondering an idea.
Helm is busy flying
I'd
the
like
ship
to-
in circles,
I-
trying to avoid all of these blasts while the captain is
No.
pondering.
No. I'd like to look at Quan and Shigok. What do you think about the flip and burn and then attack?
Explain.
We shut down our thrusters, turn the ship, power the thrusters again to make a full stop, have them rush right us and shoot at them from all our guns, everything we have.
Dangerous.
It will put you at immediate distance if you do that maneuver, just from a tactical perspective. So whatever weaponry you have, if it can fire at immediate range, then that weaponry will be able to fire.
That's exactly my line of thought.
That's right. You have the Barrett's missiles, which are immediate range only, I believe.
Yep.
Is that what you're ordering the crew to do?
I'd like to get their opinions on that. I may be harsh, but I listen. We may be.
Dangerous.
I don't know anything about combat, so I'll just do whatever you want.
Very good. We shall do so then. And hope to
Okay.
see another day.
Okay. Navigation to make that happen.
Vehicle operations would be required to do that. One-
Okay, vehicle operations to make that do that.
One little question.
Yep.
Can anyone actually fire the weapons? It requires mounted weapons.
I can't.
I can't.
Captain,
Yeah, that plan might have a tiny flaw. So
Everybody looks at the very dusty and unused weapons console.
we should hire someone to dust that off. While
Can I
we're at
just
it,
be lucky?
forget the flip and burn. We just run.
Are you still going to act first?
Yeah.
All right, you're acting first. Any one of the three of you, what are you doing?
Continuing evasive maneuvers.
Continuing evasive
And that's
maneuvers?
2 points,
That's
right?
2 points, correct. Yeah, absolutely. All right, you're continuing evasive maneuvers. Shakok, what are you doing?
Continuing to make sure the powers in the thrusters.
All right. That doesn't require you to do anything other than just monitor, basically. You can take other actions if you want to.
Keep my fingers crossed and be lucky that we make it out.
Oh, are you spending that?
Yeah.
You're going to spend
I
a
have
luck
that.
point?
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, you are trying to be lucky. Captain,
Can I use my stealth skill to look out for anything to take cover and maybe hide our ship?
you can point out dense areas of the nebula at to Quan. That's definitely not a problem. You don't have to make a stealth check, because you're literally looking out the window going, there, that's where it is, that's the thing, go there.
Yeah, there, over there.
Like I couldn't see it?
Right.
Okay, I will just say
Well, you humans just have two eyes.
no.
How
I that's what I'm thinking. I'm saying, right, Captain, I'm heading that way.
Very well. I'm glad I'm having you as my helmsman.
All right, the enemy ship fires once again, and this time without too much of a problem. You do a dive and you avoid their incoming fire. The helmsman, the gunner on the enemy ship, slams his hand into the console. However, they have a second weapon which they discharge. This is a missile that screams out of the forward torpedo chamber. It starts to track following your signal following, getting closer, getting closer.
Do I see that on my navigation?
Whoever's on sensors would see that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will see that then.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are watching this little red blip flying as fast as it possibly can towards your ship.
Incoming.
I beg your pardon?
Incoming.
Is the
Countermeasures.
throw out countermeasures, throw out something, do something. We've
we
done
have
everything we can.
Do we have countermeasures?
No, you don't have countermeasures because the author of the book forgot to put in countermeasures. So that's okay. We will add that in countermeasures to the rules. That's why you play these rules.
In that case, we could toss off our shuttle.
You could drop the shuttle from the shuttle bay, and that would intercept this missile. It has an engine signature. That's correct. Do you want to do that as this missile is slowly moving in? Your sensor check, the sensors are telling you that this is a Mark V torpedo and will do significant damage.
Yeah, let's drop that shuttle.
All right, you set it up beforehand. You're going to have to override your command to cause it to crash and land again. You willing to do that, Shakok?
Yeah.
All right. You quickly override the command that you gave it to originally crash. It drops out of your cargo bay, drifts out into the space between you and this torpedo. You disappear into this pink mist, and then there's this brilliant yellow flash. And for a moment, your senses are scrambled by the massive EM pulse that this torpedo discharges. And then it comes back together, and you see that there is nothing left of your little shuttlecraft or the crude robot that you had built to pilot it. But your ship has not sustained the damage from this torpedo. You are now in the nebula, and the whole ship is starting to shake and wobble as various gravimetric forces are playing around on it. You have your course plotted, which you have thankfully pre-programmed, so it's not too bad on that one. I do, however, need someone to make a science check as you are watching these bizarre swirling eddies of energy playing across the hull and around. Captain?
I can do that.
Very good. Shakok shows you the sensor readings, which are just, it's scrambled. It makes no sense whatsoever. You have no idea where the Delarix ship is. All you know is that you're in this nebula, and what information you are getting allows you to advise Quan on the best route to take through this rather dense conflagration of plasma energy. And as a result, your ship only takes 2 points of damage to its hull. So that's 2 points of damage to its power pool.
Who tracks that?
I beg your pardon?
Who wants to track that?
I believe the engineer should keep track of the hull points, or the captain, or anyone. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just if they get to 0, the ship blows up. So it is important to keep track.
So it's the ship general pool points, right?
The general pool points, correct.
Okay.
Okay. Eventually, you pop out just at the edge of the nebula, in between the space station known as Tarson Row and the back of the nebula.
Remind us to hire a gunner for this ship.
I think we were going to have one, but he caught some virus.
That's right. He caught a virus and he's sick in sickbay. Yeah, if you had a sickbay, that would be nice.
He's sick in his
Where's the
quarters.
other ship?
The sensor readings indicate that the Delarix is still where you left her, long range away from the space station. And she seems to be waiting for you to exit the nebula. It looks as if they're anticipating that you have just gone in and will come out in the same area once you realize how dangerous it is within that nebula.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's dangerous, but we're coming out, but not where they expect.
Correct. You are quite literally on the other side of the station. So unless they are scanning at long range, they will not detect you.
Okay.
The station does look as if it has been abandoned. There are bits of scrap metal drifting about. The lights flicker intermittently on and off. It looks as if it's quite a wreck.
But there are life signs.
There are indeed many life signs.
Reminds us of home.
Are you able to pinpoint our quarry? What is this guy?
The Garanian?
Garanian?
You're going to have to
What
do a
part
deep
of-
scan for that one. That's computer use and science, I believe.
Are you able to do that?
Science
I mean,
and what?
Computer use.
use and science.
Yep, I can do those.
All right. You get on that. You start running a deep scan of the station. Your scan reveals that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 Goranians aboard this vessel. There are 2 Crethanians. It looks as if there are 2 Kragiks, which are those giant toad-like warriors known for their battle prowess. You're also reading rather disturbingly that there is a culver aboard this station. A culver is basically some kind of large proto-lizard-like beast that weighs about 9.5 tons and is just under 10 meters long, which is about 30 foot long. Quite dangerous because they're carnivorous. They have 6 arms and 2 very powerful running feet that end in rather large claws. What that is doing on this derelict, you're not sure. You're fairly certain it's not some kind of sensor interference. This is definitely what you're picking up. Then you're also picking up at least 4 separate AI moving around the station as well.
Well, I speak Kregix,
Right. Lovely.
so but
Can-
where in the general location of the station are these Garanians?
The Garanian, there's one Garanian with 2 Kragik, and that individual appears to be what would have been the command section of this station, which sits right next to a very large array. It looks like a herringbone, as a matter of fact. It's an array of ancient sensor technology, and that's where that Garanian is. The other 2 appear to be deep within the station, moving around on corridors, from what you can see.
So, Captain, what's the plan?
Can we deduce from the sensors whether or not this huge reptilian beast is somehow in league with the Goranians?
Does anyone have wrangling?
Yeah,
You watch the sensor readings for a while. Shukok, you bring up on the main screen the sensor readings, which gives you a very
I spend a
vague-
point.
Absolutely, you spend a point
Okay.
to interpret this beast. It's making a very small circular route. And this beast, you know, these Colvia definitely do not move in small, confined spaces. They are territorial predators that cover vast tracts of land. So wherever it is, it looks as if it's in probably a 10 by 10, let's say 30 by 30 meter space.
it's in a cage. It's their chief or last ditch weapon, looks like. Probably have to approach them with some obfuscation.
You also realize that it wouldn't fit down most of the corridors on this station.
Yep.
Maybe it's also meant as a means of execution. We have seen a movie from the ancient times where it's done this way.
You know, I have problem with that.
Not us watching movies.
No, with the inaction, the acting, and it's not real. It's not real.
There you go.
We understand. Very well. Shall we dock and proceed?
They will scan.
Can we...
Got our scans.
I beg your pardon?
We can't say we are merchants. We can't say we are here to trade. Although I have some small amount of metal to trade.
We could say we are scavengers who were attacked by other scavengers and
That's
try to
true.
seek a safe haven in order to restore
Repair
our
our ship.
vessel.
Yep.
The station is not attempting to contact you.
Well, that's all that.
Shall I find docking?
Yes, and maybe before we approach them, could we disable our transponder unit?
You can disable the transponder units. It will take some time. What that would do is that would prevent them from determining your ship's nature if they were to scan it. They have not yet initiated any scan against your ship, and you are within immediate range, so it would be easy for them to do that. If you want, you can disable your transponder.
Okay, but they've probably picked us up on their sensors yet by now.
If they had scanned you, but they have not. There's been no indication that they have.
So no transponder would mean they maybe have no further indication of us approaching.
Correct.
And it would make it harder for the Delarics to find us too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Anyone with engineering will be able to do that.
Me again. I'm gonna collapse soon, but I'll keep doing my best.
We shall find your rations suited for your species. You
could
do not
that.
deal in shoes, do you?
No.
No, I think you're the only species who actually eats shoes, and everything else for that matter. Captain. You disable the transponder unit, and it is easy enough for you, Quan, to see that there is an old airlock which your ship could dock with, although all of the usual markers are not being displayed, so you will have to use vehicle operations to manually dock with this ship or the space station.
Okay. Vehicle operations.
Yep.
Used.
All right. You bring the ship close to this rather large station and very delicately line up your airlock with their airlock. 3 meters, 2 meters, 1 meter. You cut all power and just let the inertia carry you in. And then there is that gentle metallic kiss as your 300-ton starship gently nudges into this 1,000,000-ton space station. And your locks immediately initiate. A seal is given, and the environment checks out as green. The doors are willing to open.
Okay. I don't have much to grab, so I'll grab it. I've got a little bit of metal. It's some insignia that I had from the company I worked in, a plaque, Employee of the Year, some kind of statue with most on-time deliveries, stuff like that.
Nice.
I guess we could trade with this, but
Anybody
I'm not
else?
very good at bargaining.
Hint, hint. Captain Shakok, are you guys taking anything? Are you disembarking? What do you
Oh
think?
yeah, and the rest
I
of my
shall-
stuff too.
I shall recheck my helmet, which I'm
Yes.
not going to put on. I'm sorry, dear audience, but I can't see with that on. I shall also get my trusty gun, which is not green and orange.
Okay.
And what?
Oh, go ahead, Captain. You first.
Oh, I was saying I'm approaching the airlock, looking all hooded and large and
Menacing.
as
In
menacing
charge.
as possible.
There you go. Shakok?
I'll just bring my computer supplies if I need to interface with this ship. And if we have to capture this guy, I have a set of manacles.
There you go. A bounty hunter who is prepared. Okay.
I've got rations, a canteen of water, a torch, armor.
Well, that medic pack might come in handy. I think your engineer is running a little low
Yeah.
on steam there. You punch open the door, the airlock. Oh, Captain, my Captain. And this is what... The lighting is bad. It flickers intermittently. There is a Goranian, I should say, standing, looking rather dejectedly, trying to fix some broken piping or other. As you step on board, he looks over at the three of you, doesn't give you too much of his attention, and goes back to trying to repair this rather bad flow capacitor, which appears to have blown open about 100 years ago. Other than that, he doesn't care. There's a corridor leading directly down from you towards the center of the space station, and then one to the left and one to the right. The scan that you did, you think the one to your left is a hangar bay for an old transport pod. The one to the right, you think, leads to some power coupling engineering rooms.
I'd like to turn around to Shugok and say, please do not forget to booby trap the airlock to our ship. And I make a hand gesture, which is in our group known to be my way of blinking or winking. That's just the signal for act like you do it. You don't need to actually do it.
Okay.
So you
don't even have to spend a point for that,
you
right?
don't have to spend a point. What are you doing exactly?
Pretending that I'm setting the booby trap, but not really doing anything.
All right, you pretend to set this booby trap. The Goranian who's fixing the plumbing doesn't really seem to care at all. Quan, you get a very strong sense of very stale air on this space station. The air recyclers are obviously either offline or are functioning at a very low level. Shakok, your spiracles, which allow you to breathe, are getting in a lot of chemical smells from burnt out machinery, electrical conduiting that has melted. There's a lot of stuff going on this station. None of it is healthy. You know that the one Goranian with the two Kragik was located in the control center, which would be down the long corridor and then sort of further in. The other two were also, well, this is obviously one of them. Could it be Captain Vorix? Maybe. But if he's turned to repair maintenance as a career, that would definitely be a step down from, bringer about of the end of the galaxy and all existence.
So, do we have any access on the schematics of the station to know what's actually left and right from us?
Yes, so further down the corridor will lead you into the heart of the station and to the control center itself. You don't have schematics in terms of what is beyond these sort of spaces, other than what Shakok can remember from the initial scan. What are you doing?
Okay.
I want to walk up to the Garanian,
Yes.
messing with that.
Yep.
I don't know Garanian.
Most Garanians will speak common.
I will say, is there a person on board named Vorix?
He turns, he looks at you. What's it to you?
I'm going to use some psychology.
Sure. He's looking for a bribe.
I am interested in his research on weaponry.
So why didn't you go talk to him? I don't care. I can't sell you his secrets.
All I need to know is where he is. And I fiddle with a rank pin I have made out of some metal.
It's a nice pin you got there. It would be better if you got some credits, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Credits are hard to come by.
Yeah, you tell
I kind of had to leave. I kind of had to leave where I was, and this, and I pull up the other rank insignia that I had to wear. Yeah, these.
So, you were in transport, huh? I used to be in
Yeah.
transport myself.
Yeah.
Now I'm stuck here. Tell you what. He takes the 2 pins from you.
There you go.
Varix likes to hang out in the old command center. That's straight down the corridor and take you first left. You can't miss it. But you should know he don't like company. He's got some rather large companions that make sure nobody bothers him while he's doing whatever it is he's doing with the old station. Me, all I know is he's told me I got to restore power to the sensor array. Don't know why. There ain't nothing left to discover about this particular nebula, but I don't ask questions.
So you are in service of Captain Vorix.
Nah, you got that wrong. This station is used by many different people. I'm employed by the station. I get things working for them that come on board, as according to Raj. Raj is responsible for running the station. He don't care who's on it as long as you don't cause any troubles. You're bringing trade, that's good. These little pins, well, you got more of those, you might find yourself a hot meal in the cantina.
Excellent.
We find any more of those and you take care of our ship with, we might find hot meals for all 4 of us.
It's mighty generous of you, but I'm done flying around space. It is dangerous. Absolutely dangerous. Rumor has it that there's a pack of Carbathians out there currently scavenging any ship coming into the system. You'd think someone would care, but to be honest, we just don't.
Yeah, we ran into them. Are there any more positions available on this space station?
You'd have to speak to Raj.
Raj. Thank you.
Sounds like a solar scene.
The what?
Oh, those kangaroo people.
Might be. Might be. He takes the pins, he puts them in his pocket, and he carries on working on the conduit.
Very well. Shall we proceed?
Yes,
Let's go.
Captain. As soon as we're far enough away,
All right, so you start
say-
walking down the corridor.
yeah, why don't we all get jobs here?
Why would we?
So we could ingratiate ourselves, so we can gain trust.
You're saying this as you're wandering down these dark and dingy corridors?
Oh, I have my torch out.
Sure thing. Your torch illuminates a cross corridor in front of you, and an old AI is sorry, an old AI is busy walking past, not really paying any attention to you or what's going on. It seems to have come from the left-hand side of the station.
Just think, if we had jobs here, we could scope this whole. I'm waiting till the AI leaves.
It continues to walk past. Briefly, a door opens and then it disappears.
We could scope this place out and then take them alive. And get
So
paid for it.
you're suggesting applying for jobs at the heads of the station or at Captain Vorix himself?
No, with Raj.
This place does not look like it would have many jobs available, but we could try.
Oh, look around you. It has plenty of work, especially for Shakak.
That's true. I could do a lot of work here. I could fix this place up probably better than that guy. He was pretty lazy looking to me.
Yeah, you're fairly certain you could do a better job than him.
If you feel up to it, go for it, but do not overexhaust yourself. That
Yep.
goes for both of you.
There is that. The door directly in front of you has a sign written on it, and it basically misspells management with an arrow pointing through the door ahead of you. To the right, to your left, I apologize. So further down the corridor this way, there is an ancient old sign which says Command Center. Then to your right, down this way, it says Containment Area.
Raj would be where?
You suspect he would
Management,
be in management somewhere, whereas you know that the Goranian that you're after is in the command center, and well, confinement is could be anything.
Let me ask one question. I know it will break immersion, but are we still on the same time frame as usual with the stream?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Oops.
It's okay.
In that case, your idea is nice, Kwon, but I think we should proceed directly for our quarry, and we should proceed carefully. If you let me advance, I could scout out stealthily and see what we are up against.
Well, I'm going to management.
As you say that, the door to your left opens as a droid walks out of the door, the same droid you have seen before. And as it steps out, you are seeing inside of this chamber. I'll show you what you see. You see the back of a Goranian. There's no doubt about his species from behind. And then two large Kragic warriors sitting, looking very bored beyond. The AI looks at the three of you. Oh, my apologies. Didn't see you there. I beg your pardon. Excuse me, coming through.
I move out of the way.
Thank you, young woman.
Same here, but I'd like to see if that droid has any weapons on it.
Thank you, foreboding warrior. It does not appear to have any weaponry on it at all. You suspect that this may be possibly an old science droid, one of these droids used to do quite heavy scientific calculations. It does have the markings of the old Earth Federation on it, but it also looks as if it has been cobbled together from various parts and things. It appears to be heading down the corridor to directly to the south of you. Do you allow it to leave?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I moved the wrong person. All right.
Excuse us, unit.
Yes.
Could you tell us where where to find Raj. Is it in management?
Raj, owner of station, yes. Management,
Is it the way you are going?
that is correct. Heading
Thank
to
you.
Raj now.
Thank you. Proceed.
Proceeding. It continues down the
Well,
corridor.
I'll follow him.
All right, you're going to follow him, Quan. Shakok, where are you heading?
Yet stay with the group. Safety in numbers.
Okay. Muck, where are you heading?
I look at the command center, then after Korn,
Yes.
then I look at Skok and say, being captain apparently means nothing anymore in this part of the galaxy. Let's move along and see this Raj.
All right. All of you head down the corridor and follow this droid. The droid eventually leads you into this chamber, which I will illuminate now for you. And sitting across the table from another figure, a Carbathian, as a matter of fact, the furry folk, you see Raj. Raj is, you think, another Rakesh, a collection of life forms inside a suited helmet. Just for clarity's sake, I will label him quickly. So this is Raj. He looks up at you. We'll be with you in a moment. We are just busy with this one. And he points at the Carbathian. The Carbathian, sort of in typical style, hunches down. We're done, I'm out, we're done, he says. And he scurries through this doorway. And as he leaves this doorway, that's this doorway here, I'll show you now the sights. As he leaves the doorway, music starts to sound, and you suspect that is where the food and cantina area might be that they were speaking about earlier. Raj then looks at the droid. The droid hands him some information on a data pad, and then he looks at the three of you. We are delighted you have journeyed to our station. We are also concerned. The Delarix. Have you dealt with the vessel? They have been proving difficult to our customers of recent.
They have made our approach to this station difficult, but unfortunately, we lack a decent gunner, so we were not able to deal with them as you would probably help us to deal with them.
We are impressed that you managed to evade the Delarix. They have proven most troublesome. What is your business aboard our station?
You need any repair?
We require many repairs. You are traveling engineers?
That's right.
I'm a pilot.
Sorry.
We are intrigued.
And we are what one would call a mercenary.
We are delighted. What are your rates, as we would seek to employ all three of you, should you be available? We have many needs and few crew.
I look at the captain.
That would depend upon the difficulty of the quarry.
If you would be willing, the crew of the Delarix have proven difficult. We would entreat them to board, and you could use your skills to eliminate them.
That would seem suitable.
We would split the profits of selling their vessel with
I'd
you.
like to look at the others, whether or not they agree. provided we can get them to fight us in persons and not ship to ship, we would be on board with that, provided you can pay us half of whatever comes off their ship and their bodies and whatever they leave behind.
That is agreeable. Are we in accord?
I'd say we are in. Oh, was that a yes or?
It was a yes.
Okay. In that case, we are yes.
We would then instruct you. There is an area that is off limits on this station. It is occupied.
By something large and reptilian, I presume.
Your presumption, whilst revealing, is inaccurate. We have made a deal with a certain individual who refers to himself as Vorix. He has commandeered the sensor array and the central control system of this station. It is his for use for the near foreseeable future. You will not go close or near to these facilities. It would violate our agreement.
Are these areas adequately marked?
Correct. There is a single corridor, aside from access tubes, of course, that leads to the Central Command section. It is labelled Central Command. Avoid these sections.
How exactly do you suggest we lure the Delarics to board this station?
We will invite them to board.
And
They
we
do,
are-
from time to time, board the station, ironically, making use of the facilities here.
We are to
Recreational
act
sustenance.
without sensors.
I do not take your meaning.
Well, the sensors are occupied by this. What's his name? Vorix?
That is correct. We will simply send a message out into space. They will detect it. They will return.
Is there a map of the station?
The station has
That
been
I
modified
could look at.
since the original designs were created. Maps are not needed.
Hmm. So perhaps an out-of-the-way airlock type location would be suitable? Docking bay of some sort?
There is an area that we might recommend. It is off the beaten path. It is, however, very close to the Central Command Station, which would require you to ensure that no one transgresses into that space. If that is agreeable, I will show it to you now.
Well, just make sure all the doors are locked.
The station is not what it used to be, and although we are attempting to restore it to its former glory, that kind of minutiae control is not yet available. May we show
I
you
look
the
at
potential
Shakak.
ambush site?
I look at Shakak.
I can fix that.
That would be agreeable, and it would be further to our current agreement. We would compensate you for any work done. Allow us to show you this area. He takes you back along the corridor, the central corridor that you came into, and then takes you into the side room here. I will load you in there quickly. It appears to be some auxiliary room that is used or was used once long ago to scan ships entering this area, but now it seems completely lifeless. The systems are no longer working. Rog stands there. This would be isolated, and we would be able to encourage the crew of the Delarics to enter here. I should warn you, however, and this is where he points to this little door to the southeast. This directly accesses Central Command. It would be a violation of our agreement if you were to journey down this corridor. if it is agreeable, we will entreat the Delarix to dock shortly.
Would it be possible, without violating this treaty, to warn Warwicks what we do have in mind and of possible intruders, and that should they flee down this corridor, to warn him of us being on his side and trying to, well, stop any intruders?
We will communicate that with the individual who currently occupies that space.
In that case, that would be agreeable, at least to us.
Very
What
well.
about... What?
I will summon the Delarox.
Very well.
He leaves.
We should prepare an ambush.
All right.
What is your ambush preparation?
Okay. I don't know what kind of sensors are in this room.
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
it's scrap.
Are there any air vents?
There are definitely air ducts leading into this room, although by the looks of things, they're blowing around dust and fumes more than anything else.
Good. That'll cover our scent. It might be cool to push a few of those guys through that door and lock them in.
Into the central
Are there
command.
any computer interfaces?
There is one in the middle of the room. It flickers on and off, on and off.
All right, I'm going to access that and see what I can figure out about this system and what I can set up to regain control.
All right, you using repair?
Yeah.
You use your repair, you check the back connectors, you realize that there's some couplings that have corroded, you scratch out a bit of the rust, reconnect it into the main port. The screen suddenly jumps to life and you get some basic information about the station and this particular room. You think that with some luck you would be able to lock down the two doors leading into this room, or cause them to remain permanently open. You would also be able to control the lighting in this room, making it slightly brighter or making it completely dark.
What do I know about? Oh, go ahead.
I can make the lights go out. I can see in the dark. If we can lure them in here, I can then put the manacles on him.
The crew of the Delarex?
No, our target.
The target. Okay. What do I know about these creatures from the Delarex?
Carbathians?
I'm using nature.
Culture is the one that you're looking for. Nature, you could use nature, but that would just tell you that they are the furry, hyena-like creatures that scavenge and eat flesh.
I was more interested in the vagaries of their eyesight. Whether they can be...
That's nature then, you are quite right. That is a nature.
Okay, whether they can be
shape.
blinded by the sudden burst of bright light.
Yes, they are nocturnal creatures traditionally, and so bright light is definitely dazzling to them. It certainly could slow them down.
Okay. Well, I say that, so it might be well to start in darkness and then turn on the light brightly when they come in, might be able to get a first strike on them.
All right.
That's a very valid strategy, Quan. Guys, is there any place for me to hide in order to successfully ambush them?
Well, if they're going to come in through the airlock door, you could hide on either side of it quite easily. They wouldn't see you.
Just mush yourself down.
Yeah, absolutely. You could hide on that side of the door. As they walk in, they wouldn't see you. They would either see the computer terminal if it's still on, or they would just see a darkened room.
Okay.
Could always wait till they tripped over the computer terminal and then turn the lights on. Or we could arrange debris that they would trip over.
What you doing? You notice outside.
And look around. Is there any debris around?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of cabling, there's wiring, there's bits of deck plating. From outside, you see through the viewports the Delarix is starting to come into dock.
Okay, let's do our stuff. I'll start putting cabling around this area here.
Sure.
I don't know if I'm pointing at it. I'm probably not.
No.
Around the front
Right. Okay.
of the airlock.
You're laying down cabling. Absolutely. Not a problem. Do you have survival?
I do not.
All right. You putting it down, trying to make it as disruptive as possible. That's what you're
Looking
doing.
junky as the rest of the station.
Absolutely. Not a problem. Shukok, what are you doing?
Okay, so I've got control of the computer system now.
You do?
To control the lighting. I'll be ready to shield my own eyes and give them a quick flash of light when they come in. Turn it
All right.
down for now and then.
Okay. Muck.
I shall press against the wall, possibly use any wall panels as further cover
Sure.
to remain as unseen as possible. Should I use? Is that something for which to use an action point in stealth?
You could if you really wanted to, although if the lights are off, you really don't need to.
Okay, in that case, I'll preserve that point.
Okay. And you hear the airlock engaging. You hear the
Okay.
elevator from
Put me on one side of the airlock opening,
Sure.
and I'll shade my eyes so I'm not dazzled.
All right. And you hear the sound of the captain of the Delarix that you have previously spoken to, that Goranian engineer. You got to go through that door. The other door is not working. It's just through there and on your right. You can't miss it. And the captain is gruff. Do you turn out the light, Shukok?
Yeah. Yep.
You kill the lights. It goes very dark for just a moment. And then the light shines up as these individuals walk in. You realize that only two of them enter. It seems as if they've left somebody on the ship. That's the presence that you kind of get. They walk in. Why? Hey, where are the lights? You guys have initiative. You're going first. You don't have to spend a point. What are you doing?
Turn on the lights.
Yeah, turn on the lights. They look around in absolute panic. You get to act. What are you doing in either order? Any three of you can act. I believe Muck has
Martial
his
arts.
weapon ready.
Martial arts punch.
All right, you are going to make a martial arts attack, and you are going to fire your weapon, Muck. Is that right?
Yep, I'm going to do so twice because I have fast draw.
Nice. Okay. And then just so that I know what's going on, Shukok, what are you doing?
Protecting my eyes. I'm sensitive to the light too.
That's right, especially with compound eyes. So all million little eyes are being kept protected from that. Okay, so who wants to go first, Muck or Quan?
Ladies first.
Quan, make your martial arts attack against this.
I hit the last one that comes in,
Sure thing.
and I have Mystic Teacher, so I
Lovely.
do an additional point.
Excellent.
So that's 2 points to that one.
All right. You smack into the side of him. You then cross him across his brow, 2 points of damage to him. He kind of growls, "Ah, wait, boss, we're under attack." Meanwhile, Muck, are you shooting the one that Kwan has just waylaid into with her judo chop, or are you firing at the captain?
I'd say I'm firing at the captain.
Okay.
From captain to captain, you know.
Yeah, captain to captain. You have a range attack. You make your range attack. He has had no opportunity to avoid this at all, so you just deal damage to him.
Double tap.
Double tap, that's right.
And I also have, that's my second specialty, marksman, so I deal 1 additional point of damage when making ranged attacks.
Nice. So you deal a total of 8 damage, I believe? 3 from the...
Yep.
That's right.
8 damage.
Absolutely. Where do you shoot him as you hit him twice for 8 points of damage?
It's not lethal yet, right?
He hasn't died yet.
Okay, in that case, both times right in the chest.
You fire your blast into his chest. He sort of stumbles sideways. "What the hell is going on? Raj, I'm gonna kill you!" He shouts as he's frantically drawing for his weapons and things. It's a new round. Do you guys want initiative?
Yeah, and I'd like to say, without using a point in fear, not if we do so to you first and absorb you.
Absolutely. If you want to act first, now's the time. You've got to spend point to act first. All right, so Muck, you're going to spend a point. Kwan?
So I spend a point for initiative?
Yes. So if you
And
want
then
to act before the enemy, you spend a point. If you're happy to just alternate, then you don't spend a point at all.
Nope, I'll spend a point and I will use my martial arts with Mystic Teacher again
All right.
for 2 points.
Before you attack, I just need to find out, Shukok, are you going to spend an initiative point?
No.
No.
I'm just hiding.
All right. Okay, neither of the... Actually, he's going to spend an initiative point. You know what? He's going to spend an initiative point because he's desperate. He pulls out this rather curved-looking knife. Not the captain, the one that you're busy fighting, Kwan. He pulls out a curved dagger. So you and he, you both spend initiative points. You're both going to act at the same time. So if you were to be reduced to 0, you would still deal damage back and vice versa. So, Kwam, you are... Again, martial arts attacking him. You make your attack. You hit him successfully. He's not defending against you. He didn't take that action. He's going to try and slice you. What is the damage that you deal?
Oh, I do 2.
2 points damage. All right. You slam into him. You can see blood starting to trickle out of the corner of his mouth as he reels around from your blows. He counterattacks, and because you didn't take a defend action, he is going to stab you with that blade. It slices in between the clothing that you're wearing, the robe, I guess, that you're wearing, and you take 2 points. You lose 2 points from your action pool.
But
yes,
I have basic armor,
fantastic,
which absorbs the damage from the first attack.
There you go. As it slides through your clothing, it connects with that armor that's underneath and fails to deal any damage at all. He curses at you in Carvathian. That's his action. Muck, you next.
Well, I'm never change the running system.
You fire twice again.
I fire twice again. I fire once and see if that does the job on the other captain.
Yes. You fire into him. He screams and howls. He doesn't drop.
Okay, then in that case, I'll just fire a second time.
He screams and howls, and on his action is going to do something. He's still standing.
Yep, that's it. And if I use this ability,
Yes.
is it still 1 action point for each attack, or
It is
is it?
indeed.
Okay. Ooh, I think I've found myself the very first glass cannon build in this system.
You are spending... Oh, it's 2 points around, basically. But it's 2 points for 8 damage, so that's not a bad exchange. It is
Like
now.
I said, glass cannon.
Yes, the captain raises his hand. Stop! 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 We surrender. Don't put your plate away. Runtail, put your plate. We surrender. What the hell? That's what he's doing. Shukok, you get attacked.
If he's surrendering, then I'll dive and put manacles on his feet.
I don't have a bounty on my head. Who sent you? What is going on?
You do now.
What? Bounty? The other Krabathian. We're into a new round now. He is going to spend a point to gain initiative. He is going to try and do something. Are you guys going to spend points to act before he acts?
I will.
All right, you're acting at exactly the same time. He is trying to escape. He is trying to slide out that back door and run for the airlock. That is his action. Now, if you want to try and stop him, you're going to have to use strength or acrobatics, if you have it, to try and grapple him, or you're going to have to just deal damage to him as he runs away.
We'll do the martial arts for 2 points.
As he starts running, you smack him from behind on the back of his head. Ow! He grumbles, but unfortunately that does not stop him. He stumbles through the airlock, through the door, and manages to get to the airlock, which he is frantically pressing to try and escape. Muck, are you doing anything?
Yeah, I'd like to push the muzzle of my gun under the chin of that, what's it called?
The Krabathian?
The Carpathian, and tell him, if you do not get your people to stand down, we shall kill you right here and now.
Rental, stop! Come back here, you idiot!
Very wise choice.
Shukok, you've manacled the captain.
All right. And tell your guy on the ship to come back in too.
They not gonna listen to me. I mean, I'm just there. I'll try. He says. He sort of looks
It
at
is your brain splattered all over the ceiling.
No, but surely the... wait.
Do we have a comm garage?
No, but Shukok could open up a communications channel with the computer terminal. The Krabathian looks at his hip. I need to get my communicator if you want me to talk to the ship. Runtail, damn you, come back here.
How can I reach for that? Can I reach for that part of his hip and find the communicator?
Absolutely. So we're into the next round. Does anyone want to spend initiative?
No, I don't.
No. Runtail turns around and he says, "Sorry, boss!" Opens up the airlock, steps through the airlock, and closes the airlock.
Shoot.
Shugok, can you manage that the lock of the ship won't disengage?
I should be able to control it, yeah.
This is an old terminal. It will take you a bit of effort, but yes, with computer use, you would be able to do that.
I'd like to then address the captain. You can communicate to your people now. Should they attempt to flee the station, they will rip off that part of your ship, causing explosive decompression for the entire ship of yours, effectively killing all of you, and then we shall proceed in killing you.
Are you using fear?
Yep.
All right, you're using fear. Quan, you have got his communications device. It is a communications device. If you hold the button down, he'll be able to talk. I'll tell them. I
hold the button down and put it in front of his face.
Rentel, you traitor! You and Bollocks get back here right now. We're all gonna die if you don't. Just get back here, please. He looks at the communicator. He then waits. You have done the override, Shukok, is that right?
Yes, yes.
All right. There is a vague sort of jerk as the Delaric seems to try to move away and discover that it is locked. Then over the communicator, to the individuals who have captured our captain, what if we just left you the captain and you let us go?
This deal would not be satisfying.
What if one of us came back? Would you let the other one go?
And how would you determine who is going to stay behind and probably going to get fed to something or someone, and who's going to get to live?
Well, you then hear the sound of a rifle discharging.
Yes.
The captain looks at you. They're killing each other. Of course they're going to kill each other. They're not going to hot surrender over to you.
That's what we're hoping.
I'm counting on it.
Shukok, you realize that someone is trying to override the computer lockdown.
All right, keep typing away.
All right. You can either try and lock it down completely by using a hacking check and replacing the code to the actual airlock itself, or you can just try to counter their computer use. So it'll be your computer use versus their computer use.
I'll just have to counter. I don't have hacking.
All right. So
Captain, can you tell us how to get into this ship? It would mean your life if you did.
You swear?
We swear you shall not die by our hand.
Fine. The access code is 434.
I'll run in there and put it in.
The airlock door opens. Shukok, you're busy trying to keep the ship there. The other person is spending as many points as you are, but you're both trying to get there. You open the airlock door. Immediately that will disengage the ship's attempt to depart. You said I would live, yes?
Yes.
Good. You have the ship. Now.
I do apologize for the headache, and then I'd like to smack him unconscious.
You can indeed. He's not going to resist. So, yes, you hit him on the back of the head. It hurts like hell.
I want to move in and punch the guy in the ship another 2 points.
Oh, sure. You rush inside the ship. He is sitting at the helm and he's trying to type stuff on the computer. Next to him is a dead Crebathian whom you haven't seen before. It looks like he's been shot. He looks around. He sees you come rushing in. No, I surrender. I don't hurt me.
I smack him anyway.
Ow. You. Ow.
And then I frog march him out of there with an arm behind his back.
All right. You have one unconscious Crebathian captain and one standing there. Oh, you didn't kill the captain?
We gave him his word. We gave him our word.
Oh, that's going to be awkward when he wakes up. All right. Who had the bounty on us?
I suggest we take him to the person who hired us. Take both of them to the person who hired us.
Yeah.
Very well.
You frog march these two individuals to Rog, who looks at both of them. We are impressed with your efficiency. We suspected that you might suffer damage. These Crebathians have been particularly vicious. We are appreciative, and we will most certainly divide the value of their vessel with you for the service that you have rendered. Will you be staying on our station?
I really can't afford to stay here.
There is no fee for you to remain here, provided that you contribute to repairing this station.
We have thus far contributed in ridding you of space pirates, pretty much, opening your station to trade.
For which you will be
Once
compensated.
again.
Accommodation was not part of the original deal.
We shall. Uh-oh.
I'm here. Just my battery died.
Missing in action.
Sure. Whatever I can do would be great.
In that case, you are welcome aboard the Tarson Row station. And that is where we will end this evening's festivities. We went over by half an hour. I do apologize. As you can see, Brian's camera died, so it's definitely sending us a clear message. Nonetheless, thank you all for playing. How many points did you have left, Brian?
4.
You had 4 points left. One shot with a rifle would have taken you to a very dangerous level. You also had 4, Marie. Valiant Captain, how many you had?
7, unless I made any mistakes.
You had 7 points left. All right, so there we go. That is your initial sampling. What did you guys think of this system? Did you feel that it freed you up to do more? Did it feel inhibiting? What would be your initial thoughts? Let's start with Marie.
I liked it for the mere fact that because we have a skill and we've trained in it, we actually know what to do, so we can't roll a -1 and get a false positive.
Right.
That was very nice. Some of these, I'll have to play this a little more to get this going.
Sure.
The fact that I have nature is really nice because that makes me the biologist on board.
Nice.
And I'm really looking forward to leveling up because I think I need to take computer use. So
It does seem to be a fundamental, doesn't it?
Or hacking.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian, your thoughts quickly on
Yeah, that was when I was choosing skills, I had pretty much an idea of what I wanted my character to be like, and the only thing that I realized once we started playing is that awareness didn't fit in the way I thought it would. My character build, hacking would have been more better skill, but I was worried pretty early on that with only 3 of us that I was going to drop to 0 skill points before we even met up with any bad guys. But that was fun. That puts a lot of tension on it.
There you go. I like that. And Andreas, your thoughts?
I think it's a great game. I really enjoyed that it's so fast forward. So in, say, D&D, especially if you don't use a virtual tabletop simulator that actually does all the math for you, you have rolls. I attack, then I add this bonus and that bonus, and so no. Do you spend a point? Yes. Done. I love that it works that fast. I think this game really would benefit from session 0 and building the characters together.
Right. Yes, of course.
And also building the characters in communication with the GM, so you don't end up being a captain who has no idea about ships. And I shall definitely, should we level up and continue playing this, I will definitely pick mounted weapons as soon as possible to really pull my weight on the ship too.
Right. Do you think that there was the characters didn't have enough skills? Do you think there's so many skills out there? Because they're quite a lot of skills.
No. I think limits are really key. It depends on how many players there are, because if you play with, say, 6 players, then everybody can be specialist in something without too many overlaps. if you play with fewer players, maybe grant them more skills.
Yeah, what I did with my skills is I got all my skills for my from my background, which I really like. Only Harnmaster does that very well. And then I just said, okay, if I'm going to be the navigator, I already have most of the skills from my background, so I was just able to pick up things that I really needed. Yeah, that's what I did.
There we go.
I picked martial arts because it seemed like there were too many skills necessary to use guns.
Right.
So I just picked the martial arts, and I'm happy that
Yeah, absolutely.
that
You've
it was so effective.
You definitely got in there. Folks, if you are a Patreon of the channel, you'll get a copy of these rules, a digital copy of these rules at the end of the month, so you can play around and have a look and see what these guys have been doing. So there is that. And feedback is always welcome and encouraged. We'll be running this as a Kickstarter starting next week as part of the Zine Quest process, which Kickstarter runs every year in February, which is about bringing to life little RPGs and sharing them with the community at large. So that's why we're playing this today, as a matter of fact, to explore that. So there we are. Yes, sir.
I'd like to point out one problem you have in your hands now.
Which is
that this game is awesome and also the other game is awesome, so you gotta continue both now.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun. I'll be the first to raise my hand and I'll say I absolutely love playing fantasy, but I also absolutely love playing science fiction. I think it's part of our wonderful hobby is that we can play wherever we like, right?
Yep.
And I'm not that much into science fiction games. I tend to play with gentlemen who are massive gearheads, and they talk about all the combat statistics and all that. I like that this one is rather light on that. And for the audience, I want you to support the Kickstarter.
Well, that's very kind of you.
But Auntie Mary wants you.
Yes.
I agree with that. I've never played a sci-fi game before, and so I wouldn't, even though I love watching them, I wouldn't know all of the rules, all the technical stuff, and we didn't have to know that in this game. We still had a lot of fun.
Right. Well, I'm glad that you say that, because that was the goal. The goal was to create as simple a role-playing game as possible, so there are mechanics and consequences to the mechanics, but it's more about just playing the game, playing the character, and having fun with the story. So hopefully objective achieved. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate you watching throughout the whole thing. I was watching the chat, not a huge amount of chat, because I think everyone was sort of focused and trying to see what was going to happen here. As a GM, I loved seeing how this unfolded. I think the penny dropped for me when we realized that no one could shoot back. If the enemy spaceship could attack, it was going to have a pretty easy time of tearing apart their ship. So to give you a sense of the danger, those Mark V torpedoes, 2 of those torpedoes would destroy the ship, the Peregrine class that these guys were on. The Black Swan the Dark Swan would not survive 2 hits from 2 torpedoes. Anyway, so there you go. Until next time, have a return next week with more From the Shadows Born, and hopefully we will see you then, same time, same place. Until then, thanks all for watching, and so long, farewell, adieu to you and you. Goodbye.
Bye.